2018 Lexus RX SUV Review. The good points of Lexus RX SUV. Low CO2 hybrid model drives well. Quiet, comfortable and refined. 5-star crash test rating. Lots of ordinary equipment. The bad points of Lexus RX SUV. Difficult to generate a case for 200 tons version. No plug-in hybrid option. Expensive shop price. Frustrating infotainment system. Lexus claims the RX was the first premium hybrid SUV, but forget that for the second. The truth is, your third generation in this distinctive family car comes up against some seriously strong and capable and seriously expensive large SUV competition, on the established BMW X5, Mercedes-Benz GLE and Volvo XC90 to your more niche Infiniti QX70, Maserati Levante and Alfa Romeo Stelvio. Though such illustrious company is tricky to beat regarding outright desirability or maybe cabin quality sometimes, we believe this new Lexus provides a tempting package on the subject of value for money, so that long as you be able to get in the imposing spindle grille and Rigama-spec styling lines. But the probability is you're Awachi obsessed about the sharper than sharp looks in the event you're even for the RX. Sensible options: the RX 450 hours. There's one powertrain inside RX, a hybrid. Badged RX 450 hours, it was crowned the only engine option once the RX 200 tons turbocharged petrol was removed from your lineup in September 2017. The hybrid is quieter, cheaper running and better to operate a vehicle than the petrol-only 200 tons. So it's no real loss. With CO2 output the small sum of 120 GkM and fuel economy acclaimed 54.3 miles per gallon, fleet drivers undoubtedly are a key sell for the RX, though it also efforts to tempt private buyers clear of their beloved established premium brands. There's the option for adaptive suspension, which again works more effectively on the hybrid. This does a considerable job of blurring the lines between comfortable cruiser and sporty SUV, but it really's under no circumstances a Porsche Cayenne inside Benz. Refinement from the RX can be quite impressive, with additional sound deadening and acoustic glass matching the hybrid powertrain's quieter running. It really suits being driven more sedately, as well as the luxurious interior helps promote a relaxed driving style. Safe, sound and sturdy. Less capable could be the infotainment system, which utilizes a 12.3-inch screen to show off curiously old-fashioned graphics. It's controlled with all the latest iteration of Lexus's remote touch interface, a tiny pillow-shaped control, but look for it clunky and counterintuitive to control, especially beside excellent systems like BMW's iDrive and Audi's MMI, which both uses rotary dials. We love the Mark Levinson audio system on top-spec Premier models, though, integrating beautifully using the cabin and sounding fantastic. But you'll pay a great deal for the privilege. The RX has come clear of Euro NCAP crash tests, which has a 5-star rating, meaning you're not left wanting for safety equipment. Each trim level possesses an impressive volume of toys in comparison with its rivals, too. Of course, something you can certainly depend on with any Lexus product, the firm being the posh wing of Toyota, is reliability. It's finished particularly well too, so even though some materials to be had don't feel as highbrow because the competition, just how they're put together from the cabin never does not impress. The verdict. Does the Lexus RX do enough to adopt buyers clear of more established premium brands? It offers different things, you may tell which simply by taking a look at it, and temptingly low running costs kind of and fleet drivers mean it'll make a great deal of people's short lists, particularly if you look at the amount the competition costs when compared. What it's such as more detail. Lexus RX review. Hybrid system efficient and refined. Handling is tidy and controlled. RX is created for comfort, not speed. As of September 2017, there's one powertrain available here within the UK, and unusually for any car on this class, it's not much of a diesel. Instead, it's a hybrid, by using a combination of powerful V6 petrol engine and 2 electric motors to power all 4 wheels. Lexus RX 450 hours hybrid. Lexus is persistent in their rollout of efficient hybrid engines, and thus it's the only real engine available underneath the bonnet with the RX. It utilizes a combination of 3.5-liter V6 petrol engine with 263 horsepower and electric motors producing the same as 69 horsepower to get a combined total system production of 313 horsepower and 335 Nm of torque. Electrical energy is trapped in a nickel metal hydride battery with the same size and weight because previous RXs, but with a far more advanced system to master how it meters out its power. By no means will it feel like an exceptionally slow car after you press on. The engine does get vocal in case you ask a great deal from it, but that's due more on the continuously variable transmission CVT gearbox which ensures you keep the engine at higher revs when accelerating hard. The great thing is you get the silky smooth roar of your V6 petrol, and that is refreshing. There's an outburst of acceleration available in case you do want to overtake, and triggering from a standstill means a 062 mph use of 7.7 seconds which has a top speed of 124 mph, the electric motors helping provide almost instant torque for whenever you need faster responses. But it's when driving slowly and sedately which the 450 hours makes most sense. It's watch to potter around in, trying your better to use the 2 main miles of electric range for a full advantage. Modifications between running in pure EV mode and hybrid are fairly subtle, too. There's a range of drive modes to choose as well, whatever model of RX you opt for. Each mode alters the throttle response and engine output for varied driving, with normal, eco and sport modes available, with tweaks to your suspension made on models further the range. Higher spec F Sport and Premier cars also get the choice of Sport S and Sport S Plus. There's also an EV switch located close to the dial to the driving modes, to operate the car in pure EV mode if there's enough charge inside battery. Engines no more available. When the RX was already released, Lexus introduced a turbocharged petrol engine to your lineup, dubbed the 200 tons. It was combined having a 6-speed automatic gearbox that's slow to react and didn't exhibit the engine to use best light. It pulls strongly in gear, but in the event you demand an excessive amount from its 238 HP 350 Nm output, you'll ought to wait for that gearbox capture up with what you're asking from it. It doesn't sound as good as being the hybrid once you put your foot down either. That is a shame. It also doesn't hold the low running costs to complement the 450 hours, despite its lower shop price at the time. Finally, which has a 062 mph period of 9.2 seconds, it's less nippy since the hybrid and is particularly hard to recommend until you want a cheaper feeder point to RX ownership. The petrol models don't hold their value as well because hybrids. Several chassis choices available. Handles well for a real big car. Not as sharp like a BMW X5, though. If cornering performance is one thing that matters to you personally, you're probably thinking about the wrong style of car. A high-riding SUV is obviously going to be flawed with this sense when compared to using a saloon or estate, and it's no different using the RX. Still, that isn't to state it's a bad thing to pilot via a corner. The weight on the rear end of the car thanks to your hybrid system means it displays a good confidence-inspiring and settled feel from the bends, but there's only a whole lot Lexus are able to do to disguise the weight from the RX. The electronically assisted steering feels accurate enough, if with a lack of any sort of feedback. It feels fairly light and uninvolving, though its weighting could be improved in case you switch the drive mode select control to Sport. But still, there's hardly any communication with what's taking place where the tires fulfill the road, making the RX greatly a car to waft around in as an alternative to thrash by having a series of twisty roads. Adaptive suspension tested. Two suspension setups are offered, standard and adaptive variable suspension AVS. The latter provides standard on range-topping F Sport and Premier models. It adapts to your road conditions automatically, having a valve system within the dampers, or might be controlled in a sportier setup by selecting one with the various drive modes throughout the drive mode select system. Again, this can be only on higher spec cars. Even within the sportier modes, the RX demonstrates a great ability to take up bumps inside road, with only deeper holes sending shudders with the cabin. The large 20-inch alloys designed to higher-end models exacerbate this, but overall the RX rides impressively well and is able to isolate nearly all imperfections from the road from your occupants. Excellent build quality from the RX. Modern design that's interesting to check out. Easy to have comfy, but infotainment left side down. The RX's interior is an extremely pleasant put-in-place which to invest time. Everything is covered in plush leather and it's all electrified, so it's an easy task to sort yourself out after you jump driving. A few on the materials employed can appear slightly cheap, such as being the steering wheel on premier-grade cars and some on the buttons located lower down the inside. But overall the product quality seems to stack up with all the price point this car occupies. We're less enamored while using infotainment system, however. While the enormous 12.3-inch display on top-spec cars looks suitably upmarket, the graphics look very dated and menus are tricky to navigate with all the pillow-shaped joystick located about the center console. That's because doing so works a bit like a mouse button, only less accurately, with vibration feedback coming through it which is usually off-putting. It's tough to accurately pinpoint a spot on a map, for example, or maybe select a certain function about the screen. It may be quite distracting and frustrating about the move. On the plus side, visibility is extremely good thanks to a top yet comfortable driving position, that is easy to alter thanks for the range of adjustment to be had on both the seats and steering column. Good sound insulation creates a relaxed cabin. Excellent seats have become comfortable. Hybrid technique is smooth and hushed. Lexus is recognized for creating solid, well-built interiors, plus the RX follows the buzz with an attractive and modern design that's simpler to make use of than you could expect. It's extremely easy to obtain comfortable. The seats on all models are exceptionally comfortable using a huge quantity of adjustment, no matter what spec you choose to buy, and handy features like easy entry. This slides the seat plus the steering column back so it's easier to have an in-out in the car. The 450 hours is certainly a quiet and cozy car to while away the miles in. During normal driving it's impressively refined and smooth, with almost no wind or road noise entering the cabin, along with the supple suspension definitely makes the experience more relaxing too. Add to this acoustic glass and a lot of sound deadening, and it's all too easy to undertake long journeys without becoming too tired. When we drove the RX 200 tons engine in F-Sport trim however, we found the suspension never quite been feeling relaxed, which made for just a less relaxing experience that didn't sit using the Lexus's overall ambience. The same is usually said of hybrid models with larger alloy wheels. They have a tendency to thud into bigger bumps within the road. But overall it's an incredibly impressively refined and cozy car. The RX comes filled with lots of kit. Even entry-level models are well equipped. Top-spec models can be very expensive. There are 4 trim levels to choose from when you're getting a new Lexus RX, say, Luxury, F-Sport and Premier. There was an spec model, but I thought this was reserved for your petrol 200 tons as it was discounted. Standard Lexus RX SUV equipment. It's challenging to describe the RX 450 hours safe for an entry-level car since it comes packed having a raft of ordinary equipment, so it should for that price. Same models feature dual-zone climate control, tinted rear windows, heated and ventilated leather seats with electric adjustment and memory function for those inside the front, sat-nav through an 8.0-inch screen, a 9-speaker stereo audio featuring DAB digital radio, a reversing camera, LED headlamps, 18-inch alloy wheels and twin chrome-deeped exhaust tailpipes. Also a regular feature throughout the RX range would be the Lexus Safety System Plus, which comprises adaptive cruise control, pre-collision system, autonomous emergency braking, lane departure warning and lane keep assist, traffic sign recognition and auto high beam. Stepping up towards the RX 450 hours luxury sees an upgrade to the infotainment system to your Lexus Premium Navigation System, a 12.3-inch screen to show multimedia output and sat-nav, likewise as a DVD player. Luxury models come with 20-inch alloy wheels, a powered tailgate with no touch opening explained inside practicality section, LED headlights, an invisible smartphone charger should your device work safe, and automatically dimming door mirrors that has a memory function. If you wish an even sharper look, F-Sport cars get a much more distinctive front grille in conjunction with tweaked back and front bumpers, black door mirror housings and special 20-inch alloys. Inside you will find sport seats, a sports tire, perforated leather upholstery, drilled aluminum pedals as well as a specific illumination design for both instrument panel and doors. F-Sport nets which you larger 8.0-inch instrument panel too, which features a big circular gauge with a rev counter and digital speed watch out. The adaptive variable suspension AVS can be thrown in together with specific tuning for your steering, low-speed cornering fog lights and sunshades about the rear doors. Finally, Premier Grade carries a huge number of equipment. Special semi-nylon leather adorns the seats, as you move the front ones are powered, adjustable 10 ways, and show a memory function. There's a color head-up display, an amazing 15-speaker Mark Levinson surround sound stereo audio, a 360-degree around view monitor for easy parking in tight spaces and also a heated tire. You've also got the choice of an sunroof or even an opening panoramic glass roof. Optional Lexus RX SUV accessories. Since its trim levels are extremely well appointed, there aren't huge number of optional extras available to the RX. A panoramic glass roof can be obtained along which has a number of upgrades for that seats, stereo and styling. A head-up display is usually ordered separately, and ditto a detachable tow bar. Other options include styling upgrades, for example paint finishes, besides other packs to individualize your car or truck. If you specify an F-Sport model, you are able to add a premium pack which, because the name suggests, includes equipment found for the Premier spec car, including Mark Levinson head unit, head-up display, 360-degree cameras and heated tire. There's also either panoramic glass roof or opening sunroof. 5 stars from Euro NCAP. Lots of safety kit across range. Safety System Plus Standard. Take one go through the kit fully briefed, and it's clear that around the Lexus RX, aspects paramount. The structure has been developed with strength and rigidity at heart, while each car gets 10 airbags dotted across the cabin. It's these core traits which helped the RX score the absolute maximum 5 stars in Euro NCAP crash tests in 2015, your vehicle doing particularly well for both adult and child occupant protection. Comprehensive suite of safety systems. The Lexus Safety System Plus is undoubtedly an all-encompassing reputable name, much with the rest in the onboard safety equipment, and incorporates a front-mounted camera together with radar to deliver warning of the impending crash, extra braking force if the automobile detects it, and lastly automatic braking when the driver doesn't make appropriate action. This system includes adaptive cruise control. Also thrown into the Safety System Plus is surely an active lane keeping assistance feature, which warns and after that steers you directly into your lane if the automobile detects you drifting without aiming to or with all the indicator, as well as steering you back. Furthermore, it vibrates the wheel to show you it's operating should you start to drift. An automatic high-beam headlight system and traffic sign recognition feature too, while premier models receive an adaptive high-beam system which adjusts beam distribution in order to avoid dazzling other road users rather than simply switching to dipped beams. Sway warning is really a further standard feature, which could detect swaying brought on by driver fatigue or distraction, warning which they should really relax. More kit entirely on higher trims. On premier models there's yet more safety kit, together with a 360-degree parking monitor along having a blind spot monitor, rear cross-traffic alert for extracting of parking spaces, and also the parking assist monitor, which features lines for the screen with the parking camera to produce parking easier. Front and rear audible parking sensors are included too. Plenty of space to get a family. Boot size not as well as rivals. Powered tailgate boosts practicality. It's an extended and wider car than ever before, and for that reason comfort levels have understandably improved within the RX, in comparison with previous versions. There's over adequate space for 4 adults, nonetheless it's worth noting that some rivals will seat 7, albeit in less comfort. A 5th passenger is often a possibility from the RX, but it's usually a squeeze between 2 adults sitting inside back. Still, front and back passengers get lots of headroom and leg space, along with the split rear bench slides to allow just a little leeway between rear cabin room and boot room. Corner seats also recline slightly. The RX is usually a big car, but doesn't feel too enormous. Good forward visibility and enormous mirrors assist to place the car around the road, however it's a somewhat different story if you come to reverse and appear out the trunk. That striking design means rearward visibility is fixed, so it's a great thing the RX is available that has a selection of sensors and cameras all around the auto to assist with parking in tight spaces. With these fitted, it's actually surprisingly simple to maneuver in the city. The luggage area itself measures 453 liters together with the rear seats up and 924 liters with him or her folded away. That is smaller than some small estate cars, so buyers looking for that most spacious large SUV might want to search elsewhere. The reason it's smaller compared to some is the batteries for your hybrid system are placed beneath the boot floor. That also explains why a floor is quite high. Standard on luxury and above cars is usually a powered tailgate which incorporates a neat opening system that you simply hold your hand above the Lexus badge around the tailgate to get a few seconds. Unfortunately, not only do you have to wait too long for that boot to start out moving, nevertheless it takes ages to completely open at the same time. Not ideal when it's raining and you've got a lot of shopping to load into the vehicle. Best to start out the boot opening through key from a significant distance.